Seeing Web 2.0 in Context, a study of academic perceptions. Written by Susan Brown. This critique completed by Charles Devlin. The research article is located in Science Direct. This paper explored perceptions of university professors in the United Kingdom and their use of Web 2.0 tools. The university recently implemented an e-learning strategy, which requires all professors to have a web presence for each of their learning modules. Participants were asked to complete a digital questionnaire and participate in an interview with the researcher. The interview allowed for more in-depth exploration of perceptions. Things that influenced the perceptions was the discipline taught, the exposure to and use of different Web 2.0 tools for different purposes, influences from superiors, and influences from either students or colleagues. The researcher used stages. Stage 1, participants who knew about Web 2.0 tools, but never used them. Stage 2, participant used Web 2.0 tools for personal or social or academic reasons, but not in teaching. And Stage 3, participants used Web 2.0 tools in their teaching. She ended up with 74 participants in her survey. 11 individuals, or 15%, fell into Stage 1. 41 individuals, or 55%, fell into Stage 2. 22 individuals, or 28%, fell into Stage 3. They had used Web 2.0 tools in their teaching. She then broke Stage 3 down into types. Type 1, seeing the potential of Web 2.0, 51%. Type 2, seeing the potential of Web 2.0 to enhance distribution of access to teacher-selected learning content, 29%. Type 3, seeing no potential for Web 2.0 in teaching content. Some interview answers that I found interesting. We have too many tools for teaching, but too little time to implement them, and or not sufficient support. I don't even use all the capabilities of Blackboard. I think using many tools will just confuse the students. Podcasting, I think, has a slightly different role in the sense that it allows flexible dissemination of information, probably in snippets, and a smaller bite size than conventional lecture. I think that has a huge advantages to students in terms of flexibility and ease of access. As you see, we have two very different opinions on the use of Web 2.0 in the university. So the final results of the researcher: the blanket use of Web 2.0 is not appropriate. There's not 100% buy-in at the university. Web 2.0 is useful in promoting student-centered learning. The researcher talked a lot about the use of wikis in various classroom settings. Ongoing experimentation with and discussion of Web 2.0 is the best way of reaching a deeper understanding of its potentials. These views challenge the original notion that Web 2.0 is appropriate for all subject matter. My analysis. At first, I really liked how the researcher broke the participants down into stages based on their use of Web 2.0 tools. However, I became confused as she broke participants further down into types. The sample size felt small, 97 respondents out of 4,250 professors at the school. Going back to sample size, There were 97 respondents out of 4,250. 23 of those were rejected for incomplete data. The sample size is now 74. 11 rejected after stage 1. They didn't have any experience with Web 2.0. Sample size now 63. 41 rejected after stage 2. They used Web 2.0 tools, but not in teaching, leaving the sample size of 22 participants. There is also a language barrier, which is surprising because the article was written by a student in the United Kingdom. The researcher used jargon, such as on the ground and top-down influences. She also used language exclusive to the UK, academics instead of professor or educator. Tutor could be graduate assistants or teacher. I actually sent this article to a British friend of mine, and he had some trouble interpreting things that this researcher meant within the article itself. My analysis conclusion. The sample size seemed too small to make fair assumptions. There was an excellent and appropriate use of charts and graphs. If you recall last week's critique, there were so many charts and graphs, some of the data got lost as there were just too many pretty pictures. Confusing organization. As I said, she broke them down. So we had stage 3, type 1, interview candidate 6. And you kind of had to look back to see, okay, type 3 meant this, stage 1 meant this, and interview candidate 6 came from health sciences. So it just kind of got jumbled in there as you kind of lost track with the 22 interviewed candidates. As far as long-term use, really there's none for me. I don't consider it a valid research study. It was just too small, and the information that I had to glean from it was just too confusing to be effective. So I will file it under a learning experience, but probably will not relate to it another time.